Good afternoon, Swarmers. Hail Swarm, and welcome to the ESO chapter August 8th chapter meeting. I want to thank you all for coming out. We have a ton of new faces here, and it's awesome to see you all. Typically, with the second meeting of the month, we do the open forum discussion / it's more or less everyone contributes to the meeting, and it doesn't become like an officer kind of talk down thing where we hand out like, this is what's happening, this is this is that, this is that.
Man,
this
it
is
sure
that.
got quiet all of a sudden.
What?
Meeting started. You're the only one that can't hear, I guess.
Weird. Anywho, we're not going to do that this week. Instead, we're going to kind of have what Teddy Roosevelt would have called a fireside chat. So that's kind of like how we're going to do things for this meeting. Seeing how we did the open forum thing, I think it was last week. Actually, not last week, the week previously. So, before we get started with that, a bunch of announcements. First of all, I wanted to congratulate everyone who's helping with the recruitment drive. Amazing amount of numbers. My understanding is that we had 12 new members join this week, so that's awesome. Congratulations. Pat yourselves on the back. Good job. Keep up the good work. Okay. Next weekend is the Sinister Swarm's 16th birthday bash. The Swarm Lords are looking for people to make donations towards the raffle. So if you have homemade gifts or want to donate Steam games or buy a Sinister Swarm t-shirt that then turn around and gets donated to the raffle, you can do so. You can get a hold of Dark Fate or Emperor Venom via the forums or via Vent to get in on that if you want to make any donation to the raffles. Also, on the 15th, the Sinister Swarm will be playing Team Fortress Classic. I believe we have our own server for that. So
Cyclone 0103 has joined the channel. Cyclone 0103 has joined the channel. Cyclone 0103 has joined the channel.
Okay. Anywho, now that we're through with that, if you do not have Team Fortress Classic, I believe you can pick it up for free off of Steam. So I'm pretty sure it's free. And if not, it's probably like $1. It's ridiculously cheap. And I would encourage you to do so because it's a really fun game. It's a fun time to hang around and shoot people and get shot. Especially shot if you're Splint. Many, many times. I would remind you guys that the promotions will be handled at the end of the guild meeting. If you believe that you are eligible for a promotion, you can feel free to open up a private chat with either myself or one of the other officers, and we will make sure that it gets handled at the end of the meeting.
Cyclone 0103 has joined the channel. Cyclone 0103 has joined the channel.
That's getting kind of annoying. Anywho. Also, on the 16th will be a karaoke night for those of you who want to have juice boxes or other beverages of choice and sing horribly or sing really nice in the case of Flyboy, because I was actually there last time and the guy's got a really good voice. So go ahead and show up for that if you would like. We will be giving out prizes. I guess there's like 3 different awards that we give out for that. It's like most beautiful, most bedazzling, most befuddled performances or something along those lines, which I think I just won befuddled because I didn't remember the third one. But I'm pretty sure those are the awards that get handed out for that.
What did?
For karaoke night next weekend, 16th. It'll be in the wee hours of the morning when you're sleeping. Typically it starts like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock Eastern. So, yeah, by that time.
I can't connect at the moment. Try again in a little bit.
And Cortana hates me. Okay, so I think that's pretty much all I had for... Holy cats, look at all the bright lights. I think that's all I had for announcements this week, so I want to just get into the kind of main portion of the meeting. Earlier this week, one of the officers had asked me what my vision was for this chapter. Where do I see it going? What is the ideal situation? And I think there are times that people don't understand or aren't sure where I would like to see this chapter, or I think all the officers would like to see this chapter. So I kind of wanted to take a couple of minutes and just basically tell you ideally where I'd like to see things to be. The amount of recruitment over the last 2 weeks has been astonishing. You guys have just been rocking it, and I'm so happy that we have 12 new members join this week. I think it was 7 last week. I think it's something like 26 applicants over the last 2 weeks as far as people who actually put in applications on the forums. That doesn't count people who have actually gone through the orientation process and actually joined the Sinister Swarm. And that's awesome. And that just shows to me that you guys are more than capable of keeping the numbers robust. Having all these people online and having these really cool people to play with is what makes this chapter great. Knowing that anytime you hop on, there's going to be a bunch of really cool people that want to have a great time gaming with you and you to have a good time with them is what makes this place as awesome as it is. And my officers, and I shouldn't even say my officers, our officers do a ridiculous amount of work making sure this chapter runs smooth. And every little bit that we can help them out makes this chapter that much better because that gives them more time to actually do what they want to do as far as actually getting a chance to game. I don't think Kiniara wants to spend an hour a day going through the banks, cutting them out and pruning them out. I think she'd rather be out gathering flowers or whatever she does to enjoy herself. So the little things that you guys do to help out the chapter really do go a long way. Do I expect you to only do that stuff and not do anything for... No, absolutely not. I want you guys to have the most fun possible in this game. And I believe all the other officers feel the same way in regards to that. In regards to PvP, I think there is no reason that we can't have a raid of at least 24 people out every night in PvP, especially with the coming of the Imperial City. Granted, I played in the Imperial City beta with Green, with Zeely, with Kitiara, and a couple other members, and it's so much fun. And it's definitely meant for like the 4, 5, 6 group party experience. It'll keep you reasonably safe so you're not getting ganked by the 2-man roving patrols. Against Zergs, there's really not that much you can do, but you don't really see too many Zergs because there's kind of confined quarters and whatnot. So generally speaking, you really don't see too many Zergs in the Imperial City. I don't see a reason why in the future we can't have 20, 24 people out on PvP nights and then during a regular occurrence, groups of 5 or 6 or 4 out doing content in the Imperial City and
Cyclone 0103 has joined the channel.
I think that's a very achievable goal. We clearly have the numbers to do it, and I definitely believe that Green Jeans is capable of keeping that organized, and he's done an amazing job so far, and I trust that he will continue to do so. PvE. I love the fact that we run dungeon groups all the time. People are asking for help with quests, and there's always someone there to help out. Someone needs gear, there's always someone to help out. That's awesome. I think when I look and I see 30 people online, I think there's no reason that we can't possibly have 2 raid groups get together sometime during the weekend.
Lavin has joined the channel.
And run the trials and just bang them out. 2 weeks ago, we did Hellfire Citadel in 26 minutes. So it literally would take an hour and 10 minutes to clear both of the entry-level raids. So at least some people are getting exposed to that raiding environment. You're picking up Ophidian level gear, possibly out of the drop chest, and they're pretty easy raids as far as things go. If people want to progress further from that and they actually have the necessary gear and skill to do so, I'm pretty sure that there is at least one individual who would love to do SO in a more focused raiding environment and a more serious raiding environment. But as far as the entry level raiding goes, I don't see a reason why this guild isn't capable of doing raiding at least 1, if not 2 groups a week, just running and just banging out AA and banging out Hellrod. They're super. Well, they're not super easy, but they're pretty easy in retrospect. Comparatively to other raid content that's out there, especially comparatively to SO. We were talking about this briefly. previous to the meeting how there's like some really good drop sets that come out of the 2 new dungeons, and I think it'd be a great opportunity for us to get together and run some of the new dungeon content in the Imperial City on the PTS. So if you have the client, I know Green's playing out there all the time, Zeely's playing out there all the time. I make it a point to at least log on to the PTS once a day. If you don't have a Vet 14, don't worry about it, because you can literally create a Vet 14 character with raid level gear from the character menu. So there's really no excuse other than an obnoxiously long download to hop out there and just give it a try and get a feel for what's coming in the near future. Crafting, I think, is pretty good as far as where it needs to be. I definitely don't see people waiting in the background as far as, I need this piece of gear, I need that piece of gear. I think the chapter at large does a very good job of taking care of each other as far as your gear goes. I think that some of our members do more gathering than other members, so just keep that in the back of your mind. I think Kitiara is going to touch on it later in the meeting. If you're out questing or whatnot and you come across an ore node or a wood node or whatnot, just grab it. And if you're not going to use it, just throw it over to the guild bank in some respects. That being said, we'll probably be clearing out some of the lower level set gear. In fact, by probably I mean most likely, definitely clearing out some of the set gear from the Sinister Swarm bank proper, due to the fact that we're going to have to store a ridiculous amount of crafting materials with the introduction of Vet 15 and 16 gear. Let's see here. What else do I have to cover? I think that's pretty much it. PvP, PvE, crafting, recruiting. I think I already touched on that. All right. I think this chapter at large should function on its own accord. I think that it should never be an issue of these 5 people or these 6 people carrying the weight of everybody else. I think many hands make a light load, and I know that we are capable of doing that. I've seen this community in this chapter do amazing things as far as getting stuff done and helping each other out and building that positive environment without an officer more or less beating them over the head. So I know that we're capable of doing it. I mean, I look at the recruitment numbers that you guys have done in the last 2 weeks, and again, we have a competition going on, but there's no reason that we can't do those numbers during the normal course. It's cool that some people are winning some prizes for the recruitment drive, but I think that it takes so little effort to just, if you see someone out there questing alone, group up with them and be like, hey, if you're looking for a great little guild that's out there to help each other out, and I shouldn't say little because I think we have like 130 some odd members, but anyway, if you're looking for a great guild that's out there to help each other out, you don't have to worry about questing by yourself because there's always someone to help you out. You should probably check out, Sinister Swarm. I don't think that's unreasonable. I have a tremendous amount of respect for everyone that puts effort into making this chapter what it is, and I know that there are soldier bees who do not hold officer ranks, who have some titles, and even some that don't even have any titles that carry more than their share, and I think that if we all work together, it would never be a case of 12 or 13 people carrying 130 people's weight. I want for this chapter to never be a case of where anyone's like, it's, Splint's chapter or Casper's chapter, Kitiara's chapter, or the ESO chapter. I think it should always be a case of our chapter. I want you to have that connection to this. I want you to feel that this is your home and that you guys are as integral to its success as everybody else is. I want you to have that pride of ownership in it. I am obnoxiously proud of what we've accomplished in this chapter, and every week to see all you guys out there accomplishing so much together gives me nothing but pride. I never talk about this chapter like it's my chapter. My officers can tell you that I'm never the person who's just like, I did this, I did that, I did this. It's all you guys. It's all the officers. They work their butts off to make this place what it is, and I think working together in the future will continue to make this chapter even more successful than it already is. I think that's pretty much all I had to go on as far as my little tidbit. I think I've expounded far too long. So I'm going to pass the floor over to Casper, and then she can pass along down the chain.
Hail Swarm.
Hail Swarm.
Hailstorm.
Awesome. I just put up the recruitment post. If you are new and you haven't got a chance to check it out, we have some in real life prizes. The recruitment drive ends Friday at midnight. The winners, and there's going to be a lot of winners, but the overall first place winner, as well as the level everybody came in, is going to be announced at next Saturday's guild meeting. So you have a couple more days to see if you can try to find at least one or two more people. I want to thank everybody who's come in and during this recruitment drive. I think not only is it's not just about quantity, it's about quality of players. A lot of people who come in to this guild really say they're looking for a home, and I hope that we can provide that for them. And so just again to go over some of the numbers, in these past 2 weeks we've had 26 new players fill out applications for our chapter. 19 of those 26 have gone through an orientation as well as been introduced to the guild. And like Splint said, it does take a lot of time, and to give you an idea about how much time that takes, if you take a look at 19 orientations just in 2 weeks, that could be done by Killer Bees and Ups. That is actually approximately 9 hours and 30 minutes of orientations. That means either an officer in this guild, mostly this guild, or other guilds are putting in that amount of time. I did an orientation 2 o'clock in the morning the other day, and we do it because we want our guild to be really strong. So keep it up. If you have any questions about orientations or you want to be a part of it at a higher level, please talk to me privately, and I will talk to you, alleviate hopefully your fears and hopefully solidify your desire to continue making our guild really strong. Now, one more thing I want to say before I turn it over to Green Jeans for PvP is a lot of people say, oh, I'm no good at recruiting, or people hate me. And that is not true. There are, unfortunately, in the gaming community, some really great people, also some trolls. We just want to avoid them. And if people are trolling you or you put a post up and somebody says something bad, just let it run off you like water, because for every bad person out there, I always like to think that there are a lot more good people who are really looking for a community like ours that's respectful and friendly and has good times in an environment where you don't have to feel like you're going to be trashed at every other second. So yeah, that's about all I have from the heraldry position, and I'm going to turn it over to Green Jeans for PvP.
Thanks, Casper. Hail Swarm.
Hail Swarm.
Hail Swarm. Hail Swarm.
Hail Swarm.
First of all, I just want to say that I really appreciate the numbers we've been rolling out in PvP. I understand that a lot of players are coming out with lower level tunes, and that's not an issue, really. I mean, the idea is to get out here and have a good time and interact. If you're on low tunes in Citadel, it's going to be difficult as far as survivability, and I hope we all understand that. There's not going to be anybody holding negative thoughts or anything because of the fact you're unable to stand up to the onslaught that's going to face us at one point or another. Come on out and try and find skills that you can use that'll contribute at some level to what's going to happen. And most of all, learn your way around and become a part of things. That's the best part. As you level up, we're going to become a lot more viable. This week we had, heaven's sakes, it was at least 16. It might have been more than that on the one night, I believe it was Tuesday night, I believe, but it might have been Thursday. It was awesome. That was a great raid size. I really believe that we could put out a full-size 24-person group at some point in the very near future without much difficulty at all. We have been noticing a smaller number of players coming out on Friday night for PvP. I'd like to say that that's really not an issue because I enjoy small group interaction. If you like small group interaction, pulled Fridays in mind because that's typically what we're going to be doing because a lot of people are busy on Friday nights. Some of us don't have a life, but I still enjoy that. I know, right? If you like doing that, you might also consider downloading the PTS for Friday nights because I wouldn't mind taking those small groups into the PTS and getting some groundwork done as far as familiarity. It's not hard to get around, but it can be slightly confusing. It is very conducive to small group interaction because there's a whole lot of line of sight and a whole lot of change of grade. So you can, if you keep invisibility pots, there's a good chance you can get away if you get caught. Content's pretty interesting. Bosses are pretty tough. The actual PvE content within that sphere is also very difficult, at least for what we're used to seeing in Cyrodiil. Entertaining. The gear is interesting at the least, and potentially game-changing at the best. So there's some good rewards there that you can see into and get some ideas on what you might want to do after the next release. Again, I really appreciate everybody coming out and bringing your unique personality, unique skills out to PvP. And thank everybody for coming out this next week, and I'll look forward to seeing you all this next week as well. And with that, I will pass it back.
Kiara?
I think. Cool, thank you. Hellswarm.
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 Alright guys, I just wanted to start off by saying a big welcome in Hellswarm to all of the new members that we've received over the last couple of weeks, all the newbies out there. Hello! I'm Kiara. I guess it would be fair to say that I'm the person who's overall responsible for the management and distribution of stuff that's held in the guild banks. So making sure that if you guys need things, materials for leveling up and so on and so forth, that those materials are available to the best of the guild's ability to help you out with your leveling up your professions and running around with some form of decent gear for your questing and your leveling process. To that end, we have 3 banks that we use to store gear. Please make note because not everything gets thrown into the one bank. So, for organizational purposes, we have the Sinister Swarm bank, which is the main guild bank. We use that to place set armor items. We're really looking for mostly vet stuff. I would even go so far as to say that by now we're going to probably only have from vet, say 11 or 12 upwards set items in the Sinister Swarm bank. Set items that are below that level, for the time being, if you could mail them to me, if you wish to donate those items, I will then place them into the Merchant Guild bank, which is actually where we hold overflow items. Because the Merchant Guild bank is essentially a bank of overflow items, we have opened that up to allow new members, new players even, to withdraw from those banks for the time being, because it has so much items in there, and it has lower vet level items, level 33 items, set pieces, so much things that we don't actually need or have much use for, because we have the Swarmcraft, which is a crafting bank, which holds mats and things for people who are leveling up their crafting and provisioning. So what goes into the Swarmcraft bank will be mats. Any mats, whether it be ore or actual ingots and stuff, they can go into Swarmcraft. Once those items become too much in Swarmcraft, we will pull stuff out and place it again into the Merchant Guild as a sort of last stop shop for those items to be used by our members before we sell them off either to a vendor or through guild traders. So I just wanted to make sure that people, our new members, don't end up putting mats into Sinister Swarm, which is for armor, set armor items, preferably V10, 12 and upwards. They know where to send it to. Send it to myself if you're not sure. And if you see any items, or if you need items that are not available to you, or you don't see them in our banks, just shoot me an in-game message and I can see if I can grab hold of some and provide it, because you know we do have on our various alts and things, we're also holding items for our members to use if they should need it. Second to that, I would also point out many of our members who have been here a while do have master crafting unlocked. They're able to craft most armors across the board, myself included. And if you need anything crafted for you in terms of armor, or if you need some help and support to level up your own crafting by us making mats for you to deconstruct, which levels up your crafting even faster, please speak out. Put a message in guild chat, send me a message. Just make it be known what your needs are, so you know then our members can be in a position to know what you need and help you out accordingly. And if you have any questions, again, we all have open door policies in terms of the officership, and most of our members would just, you know, will appreciate an opportunity to help you settle in, etc., etc. That's essentially all I wanted to say. I don't think I've missed anything, but if I have, then I will put a notice up in the website on our forums.
Cool. All right.
Thank you very much. I pass it over.
Very cool. Before I get into promotions, I do have a special promotion to announce this week. We, the officers, spent a lot of time talking about where we want this chapter to go and the road to get there. And one of the officers in particular, I feel counteracts and works well in that aspect, in those goals with me. And as such, this week, I've decided, earlier this week, that Casper will be given the opportunity to become Vice Overlord of this chapter.
Lauren has joined the channel.
Her work in recruitment in keeping our numbers lively has just been astonishing. Absolutely delightful person. Does so much work on the back end to make sure that this place is a great place for you and for everybody else that you interact with in the chapter. And I wanted to recognize her and give her the opportunity, should she decide to take up the mantle of Vice Overlord of this chapter.
Hail!
Hailstorm!
She's speechless.
Apparently.
Thank you. Well, if the chapter agrees, I would take it as an honor and a privilege to do my best to help the chapter remain strong. So unless anybody has any big objections, I will accept.
Congrats, Casper.
Awesome.
Congrats, Casper. Well deserved. I gotta find you on this list so I can promote you out.
So what did I miss?
Nothing.
Me accidentally killing the guard.
Oh.
And you'll notice that Casper now holds a...
Out here?
Apologies for being late. I was burning things.
Barbecue.
No,
House?
was, no, burn barrel.
CD.
I was burning cardboard in a burn barrel.
Okay. Anyway, back to the business at hand for normal promotions. If you believe that you are eligible for a promotion, make sure that you have submitted a private chat with either myself or one of the other officers. Make sure you get taken care of. At this point in time, I've received one of them, and I'm going to check on that person right now. So just give me 1 second while I open up the forum. Just to make sure they're good to go.
Just to be clear, even if we message you about our promotion, doesn't mean we're going to get it right.
That is correct.
Darn!
You weren't supposed to say anything. It was supposed to be a surprise. And you ruined it.
Well, crap-tastic.
What about demotions? There we go.
He didn't say anything. I didn't say
There was a
anything about
surprise
that,
as well.
I guess I don't deserve any promotion if I can't figure out how to put a chat window to you.
Click on my name and vent and type and hit miscellaneous private chat.
Right click.
Yeah, right click.
Okay, miscellaneous. There's no chat.
Quick question. Has anyone ever failed the Soldier B test of knowledge?
Yes.
Check user.
Vapor C, according to the forums, you do not have the necessary codes for your promotion.
I can assume that the individual that failed the test didn't stay around for very long.
Due to embarrassment?
Well, I don't know what embarrassment.
No, Splint's still here.
Just kidding. That's terrible.
Well, he
and true.
never played, so it's okay.
It's terrible and true.
He's just the leader. It's not important.
Missing something on the forums?
Yeah, according...
Have we got enough posts?
According to the forums, you don't have enough posts on the forums.
How many posts does he have?
Just arbitrary, I need to go in and post some stuff.
Not arbitrary. It's a chance for you to get to know the community. It's a great opportunity for you to get to know the members and a chance for the members to get to know you and share some information.
Okay.
And see if we can survive this madhouse.
Yeah, that too.
Right. Is there a particular thread or just kind of in the swarm community?
No, any.
Any thread. There's everything is covered from favorite movies, pets, the Sinister Swarm, ESO forums
favorite
themselves.
ice cream.
Yep. The Sinister Swarm ESO forums are rather robust with a ton of active discussions as far as PvP and PvE related.
Or just miscellaneous.
Kill Riven, you are eligible for your Soldier Beat test. So, who among the people am I going to torture first with your first question?
If you don't mind, Fate will be handling it tonight in Guild Wars since I started there.
Awesome. That's great.
And it means Splint doesn't have to find someone.
Oh no, I love picking on people in Guild. You should know that by now.
Oh, yeah, that never gets old, huh?
Anybody else? Now's the time. Speak up or forever hold yourselves before I set you loose upon the world of Tamriel.
What are we supposed to
And
hold on
Tamriel
to?
will never be the same.
If you believe that you're eligible for promotion, as far as from newbie to worker bee to soldier bee. Alright, I'm not hearing any dings. Officers, anyone speak up? No?
Zeely's got a raise.
Zeely? Fire away, sir.
But I'm not eligible for promotion, and I don't want to be promoted. But I have something from earlier if you're ready for it.
Absolutely. Fire away, sir.
You had mentioned PTS and new content dungeons. I would like to see some people pull the PTS onto their computer and do some old content with the new changes, such as DSA. Because the new changes are coming with less heals, less DPS, less stamina to block with. So I would like to see us run something like that prior to doing the new content to see how much of an impact it's going to have on us.
I think that's more than fair. Now, to be in full disclosure, too, inside of the Imperial City and in Cyrodiil, there's 50% reduced damage, 50% reduced healing. So that may contribute to some of the... Now, the blocking change is universal. But.
There's a workaround built around it already.
Cool.
Evade.
Anybody else?
I've already seen on the armor, whether I was in Cyrodiil, Imperial City, or Riften, that the gear that's being nerfed down with your spell damage and your weapon damage is universal across the server, so that's going to impact everything.
Right, but I'm talking about, like, say, when I was in the Imperial City and, like, someone takes, like, an obnoxious hit, normally when I'd be able to fill their health up, it was only hitting them for, like, 3/4 of their health, so no more 20k crit heals. So, anyway, anybody else something to say? Speak up, forever hold yourselves. Going, gone. Alright, I'm gonna set you loose.
Gone reading.
Gonna set you guys loose upon the world of Tamriel. I want to thank all the people for coming out here. An amazing light show. I've actually had people ask what's going on and maybe got some possible recruits out of this wonderful light show we got going on out here. So thank you guys for making this as eventful of a showing as it is. I know the particles are going crazy and my video card appreciates the workout. On that note, thank you all again, and I think we'll end this on a big hail swarm.
Hail swarm!
Hail swarm!